BB851, turn right, heading 180. Order 14 Papa, turn right 245, report localizer established 27.
Following the news earlier this week that Lufthansa would be adding 4 more of the Airbus A350s to their operations in the future to better cope with demand levels rising once again, they reappear in the headlines with a massive boost for the overall business in the coming years. Today, it was reported that they had completed a capital rise worth the sum of US 2.5 billion, or that of 2.16 billion euros. This is a staggering boost to their overall capital, and one that'll boost their financial position for the duration of this global pandemic. This is also a figure that overall many airlines could only dream of acquiring. Unfortunately, it is one of the many realities within the aviation industry that some airlines in dire need of additional capital and really just support in general will never obtain it. The further boost for Lufthansa will allow them to repay some of the state aid that they were provided during the height of this pandemic to enable its survival. The state aid that was provided as a bailout was actually worth 9 billion euros, or 10.4 billion US. A simply massive figure of cash that now Lufthansa needs to work towards repaying. Without the most recent announcement that they received investor backing worth the sum of, once again to reiterate, 2.14 billion euros, repaying that figure that I just mentioned actually would have been even more difficult, and that's not to say that it still won't be difficult. Obviously, Lufthansa needs to work around repaying these loans that they have received in the future. The investments that they get are only an added benefit, but it does not mean that it is smooth sailing to the repayment. While the airline was not in a position where it would have collapsed, alarm bells last year did begin to ring that due to the significant downturn in travel, if Lufthansa had not acquired state aid, there would have been no way possible that they could have kept any part of their network functioning during the pandemic. According to the finance ministry within Lufthansa, following the latest announcements, the government will hold a stake of some 14.1% in the company. Lufthansa, though, are by no means the only airline in the same position. This position meaning them receiving funds to pay out bailouts or even to acquire capital and equity. It's a big part of the industry and is allowing airlines to move through this crisis, which is the worst we've seen in a very, and I once again want to repeat, very long time. For Lufthansa and other European carriers, they have actually been encouraged by the month of September. You may have heard me mention September in some recent videos, but it was a big one. It resulted in an increased amount of bookings for flights, with thanks to announcements surrounding border restrictions easing, not just for flights through to the United States in time for the festive period, but also for other countries as well as the world begins to reopen. These are encouraging signs, but one of the biggest things airlines need is clarity that this will continue. The last thing they want to be doing is launching services through to the United States and say in February of next year, them being told that there are new border restrictions in place. It needs to be a not just staggered reopening, but an opening that sticks. One of the biggest hurdles, though, preventing people from travelling alongside border restrictions has been the mandatory quarantine and testing. As these things do ease and we find new ways to move forward, more people are inclined to travel. More people, therefore, are inclined to book with airlines, which is something Lufthansa is reporting for the month of September, with that key focus on being those flights through to the United States. What are your thoughts, though, on Lufthansa receiving a huge sum of capital that will boost their overall operations? You can let me know down in the comment section below, and as always, thanks so much for tuning into a video here on the channel. Your support, like always, is greatly appreciated, even if views have been a lot lower of late. Until the next video, take care, and like I always say, be safe.